Formally seconded. Motion 75 in the name of the South Ward branch. Call. Uh, 74 then in the name of the Rathfarnham Knocklion branch, Dublin South.
Karen McCormack, Rathfarnham Knocklion branch. Delegates, today is Zimbabwe Independence Day. 30 years ago today, the Lancaster House agreements were signed, which eventually led to Robert Mugabe's ZANU party taking power in Zimbabwe. It was a time of promise for Zimbabwe, and the international community were very optimistic for its future. Unfortunately, it is not so easy to be optimistic today, given the suspicious accidents, disappearances, torture, and the general poor treatment of those who do not support ZANU-PF. Most recently, the Finance Minister and Secretary General of Morgan Tsvangirai's Movement for Democratic Change, Tendai Biti, narrowly escaped a crash where a haulage truck drove straight into the official car in which he was travelling. An accident similar to that, which a little over a year ago, in which the wife of Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai was killed and the Prime Minister himself was badly injured. Biti has received several death threats, including a bullet in the post last August. In February this year, Morgan Tsvangirai himself was involved in another accident, this time on an official rural visit, where a rear wheel in the off-road vehicle in which he was travelling exploded. But it's not only political opposition to ZANU-PF. Human rights defenders who are not politicians are also targets. Gertrude Hambira, the General Secretary of the Agricultural and Plantation Workers Union of Zimbabwe, who has received several threats, has been in hiding since February, when 5 individuals identifying themselves as officers of the Criminal Investigation Department raided the office of the union looking for her. Luckily, she was out of the office at the time and able to flee for safety. Staff members of the union have received death threats from officers seeking the whereabouts of Ms. Hambira. But probably one of the most sensitive cases is that of Kashiwi Gashwa, a secretary in the Central Intelligence Office who went missing in 1990, and whom it is believed uncovered information regarding to disappearances, and as a result was killed and her body buried in acid. A government inquiry did take place, but it was not made public. The main witness was Ms. Gash's ex-boyfriend and director of the CIO, Edison Shirahuru, who died just after the inquiry was launched. But what is needed in Zimbabwe is accountability for the atrocities that have happened, and an end to the impunity for the perpetrators of past human rights violations. And this motion calls on the Labour Party to work with its sister parties in the Socialist International to bring about change and to support those who are working to do that. I urge you to support the motion.